Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's ChannelTech VideoCast. I am your host, Charlene O'Hanlon of the VAR Guy, and I am here, as I am always, with my co-host, Diane Krakora, CEO of PartnerPath. Hello, Diane. How are you?
Good morning, Charlene. I'm great with our 88-degree weather today.
Oh, be quiet. Be quiet with your bad self. So, not much news going on this week, huh? There's this little...
What will we talk about?
Dell... I think maybe they make PCs. I'm not entirely sure, but they bought this company called EMC. Apparently, there's not a company in tech these days that can have a name that's longer than 4 letters, I guess, and be successful. So anyway, so big news there. Dell is going to purchase EMC and all of the attachments therein. So what do you think? Nobody's talking about it.
I think it's no one's talking about it at all. I think it's interesting that, first of all, they found $67 billion. You know, I love it how it's positioned. Dell fined $67 billion to buy EMC and its accoutrement, right? It's not just EMC. It's also, you know, everything else along with it, other than VMware that's still kind of public, but in the private company that, anyway, very interesting. It's going to be interesting for channel partners.
Well, you know, you think about when you're talking about the accoutrement, you think about all the things that touches. I mean, yeah, there's VMware, but there's also RSA. Pivotal, absolutely. So, you know, we're talking about, you know, channel programs alone. We're talking about myriad programs that in incentives and solution provider partners and all these different things that are going to have to be figured out by Dell and, you know, whatever the new company is going to be, whether it's the, you know, under the umbrella of Dell or if it's something altogether different. But, you know, there's got to be some serious channel implications associated with this deal.
Yeah, and I am really concerned that, as I always am with any merger, let alone the fact that ignore the discussion that HP and Symantec are breaking up, right, at this point into different companies to better service customers. But that is the exact reason that Dell is saying that they are buying EMC and the accoutrement is for customers. But, you know, in these kinds of mega mergers, like when we saw Oracle buy PeopleSoft and Siebel back in the day, there is a lot of distraction that goes on, and partners can get lost in the shuffle. I mean, everybody's predicting this is a 2-year, you know, distraction for Dell around getting the people and the technologies to work together.
Yeah, I heard that too. It's going to be at least a year or so before there's any sort of clarity on the direction the companies are going to be going. But, you know, it's kind of interesting as IBM, Ginny Rometty, she came out and she said, I don't really care. You know, it's like, let's focus on what we're doing. But when you look at the breadth of solution provider partners out there that are Dell solution provider partners and or EMC, you know, that cuts a pretty deep swath through the channel ecosystem as a whole. And then you bring in the VMware guys, you bring in the RSA guys, Pivotal guys. You know, there's definitely going to be a lot of conversations happening with their customers about what this means for the channel going forward. And frankly, I feel kind of bad for the solution provider community who does business with those folks right now, because they are going to be in for a lot of hand-wringing by their customers as they try to figure out what's going to be the future of the two companies.
Absolutely. You know, no one loves fear, uncertainty, and doubt around what their future is going to be in the combined new companies. And for the two big guys out of that, Dell and EMC, aren't really considered a hugely channel-centric organizations. They both often tout publicly and loudly their awesomeness around sales, right? That EMC says it's the best enterprise sales organization there is out there, and Dell has always touted that, you know, they've been the mid-market sales specialist and the Dell Direct. I mean, it's not just a selling methodology for them, it is a mantra within their organization. So these aren't two like trick organizations. So this isn't Cisco, right? That has 87% of their business driven by channels.
Right, right. And you know, for so long, Dell was a direct company and they resisted even entering the channel. So now you kind of have to wonder how important they're going to view the channel with this acquisition. Is, you know, is making sure their channel solution provider partners, you know, are they going to take pains to make sure that those guys are properly taken care of and cared for and getting the answers they need so that they can advance their business while this merger goes, you know, goes through. So that's definitely something that's going to be you know, something we'll have to take a look out for.
I mean, the integrations with programs will take even years after the integration of, you know, Dell and EMC as a company is addressed. You know, and will it go Dell software, and Dell software has its own programs versus the Dell hardware, and things like the incentives and the build-ups. And I mean, we've seen a lot of organizations kind of try this portfolio approach, and particularly with partners. HP tried it, Oracle continues to try it and say sell the whole stack and sell the whole portfolio. But we really often see the programs and the incentives broken out separately, you know, for hardware and software. Even still, HP today, HP Enterprise still today has a hardware program and a software program, right? And just in terms of how do those incentives and education and stuff roll up. So it's going to be a pretty big behemoth if they try to put them all into a standard structure.
Yeah, and you know, we're not even touching on the fact that there is some overlap with technology between the EMC storage lineup and Dell's current storage lineup. So that's going to be something that also was going to be impacted. And, you know, the channel that sells that particular technology is definitely going to be impacted.
Well, and it's always hard for a channel partner or a solution provider or whatever we want to call them. We have to talk about that poll again, by the way. In terms of, they've been selling against Dell for how many years now, telling their customers not to buy the Dell solution, but to buy the EMC or whatever else that they've been selling. And now they have to go back to those same customers and say, I was just kidding. Actually, the Dell product's going to be great.
Well, I know at one point, I'm not sure, I'll have to double check on this, but I know at one point Dell was actually co-branding or white labeling EMC technology as its own, and I'm not sure if that still is the case, but you know, obviously that will be changing as things go on. But
well, you know, they had the EqualLogic product, and that was kind of the competitor against EMC, right? Was the EqualLogic, and then Dell bought EqualLogic, and that kind of became their big, you know, server storage product line. But it's going to be really interesting for the channel partners as they try to figure out what product to sell.
Yeah, well, I guess, you know, it's obviously very early days, so we're going to be keeping our eye on it on the VAR guide for, you know, for as long as it takes, basically, for them to sort everything out. But you know, we would love to hear what Dell solution providers and EMC solution providers have to say about the merger, or the acquisition. So if you feel like getting in touch with us and letting us know what you think, we'd love to hear it. I'm sure Diane would love to hear it too.
Oh no, we're already starting to reach out to a lot of our friends that solution provider friends that are EMC solution providers, and a few that were on Dell to really talk about what it means to them, and most of them are very kind of, oh, well, it's a wait and see, you know, business as usual for the next couple of years. But one of the big things that they say that they're already concerned about is that their people are going to change, right? Their CAM, really where the rubber meets the road, when they're really engaging well with an organization, they're engaging all the way down to the CAM level, the field level, and that's their biggest concern, is that either the people will start to leave either organization, so that they're going to lose their kind of their feet on the street guy, or, you know, of course, there's going to be redundancies, and these guys are going to have to be removed or shortened into territory. So that's the number one thing so far that we've been hearing, is that it's the people side of this, and those guys that they talk to every day.
That's a great point, and that's, you know, I think even more than, you know, the possibility of the technology stagnating or slowing the innovation there while the merger goes through, the acquisition goes through. I think, you know, that the fact that, yeah, the channel account managers and their you know, their main points of contact definitely are going to be changing. So. You know, and whether that's through attrition or through, you know, the regime change, obviously remains to be seen. But yeah, I can see where that would be a real fear.
Yeah, it's the their number one concern. They're not really worried about the you know, the product or the portfolio. They do best of breed anyway, right? They take the best of products here and the best of products there, and they put them together for the solution. That's what we call them, the solution provider. That's what they think their job is. So they're not really worried or concerned that, you know, Dell's going to have the full stack and it's going to provide one product from one vendor or anything. They actually think it's going to be harder to do business with Dell just because of the processing and just kind of the bigger structure and the number of people they're going to have to interface with. But their main concern is really with their CAMs. So we will see how that progresses in the next couple of months or years.
Yeah, so we'd love to hear what you guys have to say about the Dell EMC acquisition. So please, as we say every single week, use that comment box below and let us know what you think. We'd also like to know what you have to say about other issues that we've covered on the ChannelTech VideoCast, as well as any topics you'd like us to cover. So please don't hesitate. Just takes 2 seconds. Let us know what you think. You can also let us know what you think on the PartnerPath website, which is www.partner-path.com, and let Diane and her crew know what's going on with you. And next week, hopefully, we'll be able to get back to some more, you know, channel marketing, channel technology focused discussions. I don't, you know, I don't know what you your sleeve, Diane, but you know, we can certainly discuss some of the technologies that we talked about last week at the Gartner IT Expo, Gartner Symposium IT Expo, or, you know, we can just talk about whatever.
We have a channel executive roundtable in Boston on Friday, so maybe we can talk about some of the stuff that comes out of that. We've got about 15 channel chiefs that are in the Boston area coming to a roundtable on Friday. That's
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So that I think I would really enjoy hearing what comes out of that for sure. So yeah, so tune in next week, so we'll all figure out what it is that we're going to be talking about. But until then, I would like to say thank you to Diane, as always, for joining me on the ChannelTech VideoCast. Thank you, Diane.
Great to see you, Charlene.
All right, well, have fun in Boston, and we'll see you next